So when starting out, even if it's 1,000 naira, pay yourself. Right? Pay yourself. Take yourself out. Know that, oh, this business is paying me 1,000 naira per month. I made that mistake as well when I was going to start out. When the money comes in, boom, taking my phone, boom, sent 2K to my wife. And I say, thank you, God bless you, blah, blah. And we're not growing. We're not growing. I want to buy a van. There was no money. There was money. We're making profits. But I had put on the family expenses on the business. And the business was suffering. So one day I sat down, said, okay, now we have to get serious. So I created an Excel sheet, right? That has all our expenses. Diesel, £100 diesel will take me 200
There was
miles,
no money,
right?
There was money.
Put it down there.
We're making profits.
The cost,
but I had put
business
on
cost,
the
put
family
it down there.
expenses on
Electric,
the business.
put it down there.
And the business
Everything,
was suffering.
my expenses were there.
So one day I
right?
sat down.
So as money comes in,
said,
the
okay,
first thing I do is
now
do what?
we have to
Remove
get serious.
everything I've spent
So I
on the
began
business.
to
And at the end of the month, I make sure I pay
an
myself.
Excel sheet, right?
So that it
has all
not be
our
as if
expenses,
you're working without a
diesel,
profit. So
£100
monthly
diesel will
payment
take me
is a
200
motivation for you
miles,
to do
right?
more.
There was
Put
money
it down there. When you
we
pay
were making
yourself,
profits,
right?
of course. But I had put
The
on
goal and the eagerness will be there to drive more, to put in more. But if you don't pay yourself, if you mix everything up, you say, oh, we're not making profit. Whereas you're making profit. But your personal life is eating into the business. So systems, SOPs, make sure you have a standard operating procedure, how you do things, how you calculate your expenses, your profits, and then how much you pay yourself, right? It's very, 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 very important. So let's talk about types of ideas and types of businesses, right? I tend to have very vast understanding about service-based business, right? Because that's what I do, right? However, the world has become very, very digitized. Do you understand? You can be in India and run a business from Nigeria. You don't have to be there. Like I said before, I have a few friends who have houses in Lagos and they put it on Airbnb. They've automated all the system. Everything has been automated. What you want to do. How you want to do what to do. What time a tenant to move out, right? How to call the cleaner. Everything has been automated, right? So that means that the idea and the model of the business says that you do not have to be there, right? It doesn't have to be a physical business. I've also seen so many content creators, people who do not have an office, and they're making money off social media. Do you get me? And that's also a type of business. So now, there are so many types of businesses. We have a service business, you have products, you have online businesses, you have agencies, you have subscription model business, you have real estate, and you have trades. So you also have to decide what the type of a business is, right? Service businesses are businesses that meet up with people every day, right? You see people every day, talk to real people every day. That means that if you're someone who offers a service-based business, what sets you apart must be 100% customer service reputation. That means that when people come into your office, the first person they see, the first person they meet, greet them with a good morning, right? Because you're a service-based business. And people run 100% on emotion when it comes to a service-based business because they see you, they interact with you. Imagine me now traveling to UK now, and I go to and I book airpiece, and then I get to the airport, and the first airpiece customer service I see doesn't greet me. They just leave me alone without asking me, what do you care for? What do you want to see? Who do you want to see? How can we be of help to you? When people call you, what's your first answer to them? Is it hello, who is speaking? Or hello there, how can we be of help to you today? How can we help you today? Or how can you help us today? So service-based business is dependent on customer relationship. So you have to build customer relationship. Build it. Build it. The lifeline of a service-based business is hinged on, number one, how you can convince your customers. Conviction. Number two is trust. And number three is your ability to meet their demand. Those three things. You're an hairdresser. People come into your office and they meet everywhere shabby. You've given them a first impression that is negative. That means that they might not come again for those who care. You make hair. And the first thing people when people call you and they ask you, oh, how much do you charge? You didn't bother to ask them what type of hair do they want to do. You didn't bother to ask them how they want to look. You didn't bother to ask them the occasion they want to go for. All you do is, oh, it's 100K. And the first thing they will say is, oh, he doesn't even care much about me. And they'll drop the call. Yesterday, I was speaking to a business I was trying to partner with. And I sent him a message on WhatsApp. He happens to be a Nigerian. And I was very, very disappointed. First thing I asked him is if he was available to cover up a shift for me, because I'm in Nigeria, and I couldn't do it. And I sent him a text on WhatsApp, and the first thing he asked me is, how much do you want to pay? And I was like, really? How much do I want to pay? And the way he was chatting with me was abbreviating words. Instead of YOU, was using you. So I picked up my phone and I searched for his name. I saw he was a Nigerian, and I called him. I said, brother, no, you don't do like this. You don't know if I'm coming with a £1 million business. You don't know. So treat everyone with respect. Make sure respect is your hallmark. There's nothing bad in calling your customer Sars or Ma. There's nothing bad in it. As I was coming here, someone was sending me a text on WhatsApp, and the first thing I did was, how can I help you, sir? I don't care how old he is. I don't care of his status. I do not care about any of those things. I want to make sure that even if he does not buy from me, he will be able to go out there, yeah, and think about how I interacted with him. And you see, a service-based business works on word of mouth. You can run 50 ads from now till tomorrow. When people come, the question is, how do you treat customers? How do you treat people? Customer acquisition is one of the easiest things to do. But customer retention, right, is one of the hardest things to do as a business. So when people come to buy from you, and they buy a charger from you, the first thing they want to see is, you told them the charger is a very good one. It lasts for years. The second question is, how were they welcomed? Do you just sit on your phone? You sit down and you're pressing your phone. Baba, I feel help you now. Oh, I want buy charger. You didn't even stand up. There was no greetings. There was no exchange. There was no, oh, can I get you water? Do you want soft drinks? Make sure you work on all those things. It matters a whole lot. Like I said before, customer acquisition is very, very easy. You can acquire customer very, very easy. But you see, customer retention is the hardest thing to do in any service-based business. That's why your customer retention must be 100%. Work on it. Work on it. So, the next business model I'm going to talk about is subscription-based business model, which I think is now very ripe in Nigeria. And You see, is a sector, is a model. It is a multi-billion naira business model. And I want to employ you. I want to please beg you that as a service-based business, right, your goal is to make sure that you turn your business model into a service-based model. Sorry, into a subscription-based model. And I'll explain to you why and how. So someone rings me up and say, "Oh, is that Slim Cleaning Pro?" I say, "Yes. We have a one-time clean to do in our house. That means we want to clean once, right? And give them a charge. Ask how many bedroom house they have, how many toilet they do have, what time they want the cleaning to be done. Are they supplying cleaning products, or are we going to supply the cleaning product to them? And I'll assure them our cleaners are DBS insured. There's safety. We have insurance. If they break anything in your house, we have insurance to pay for it, to buy it back." Do you understand? Now, what have I done while doing that? I've been able to assure them, to bring them peace of mind, that when you come and bank with us and work with us, you have peace of mind. Now, I've won that aspect over. And then we come to pricing. I give them a very good price. Make them understand that if they go outside for another price, what we're offering them is the best. Now, the fact that it's cheap does not mean you are the best. So you can price yourself cheap and make a loss, right? It still doesn't mean you have or you give the best service. Do you get? I'm talking from the standpoint of a businessman and a standpoint of a buyer, right? You can give your money to a plumber and he will tell you it's 3 million naira to complete the job, and someone else will come and say it's 1.5 million or 2 million. Now, you going with the cheaper one does not mean you get the best of the best service. Now, the fact that you are cheap as a businessman or as an entrepreneur does not guarantee you success. Being cheap is not being successful, right? My wife has a business as well. She makes clothes, and last week she's been trying to expand the business, and I got her talking. We spoke, and the first thing I asked her is, "Who is your market?" And she couldn't answer the question. She said, "Okay, that's fine." Number two, what do you stand for as a business? What do you sell? What's your market? So you believe that the answer would be that we sell branding, right? Because you see, a tailor does not sell clothes. A tailor sells brand. So if you think what a tailor does is to sell clothes, no. A tailor sells branding. Branding means that you walk into anywhere, the first thing people will see is your clothes. Not even before you talk, before you speak, the first thing they will see is your clothes. So now imagine if Pastor Emoji comes in with a short knicker, and then he starts jumping up and down. People won't respect him. They won't pay attention to him. So a tailor sells what? Sells brand. And I asked her, I said, "What do you sell?" She said, so I asked her what she sells, and she was also unable to answer that. And then I asked her, "What do you solve? What problem do you solve?" And she says, we solve embroidery problem. I was like, "No. You failed again." And I asked her again that, "What sets you apart from the rest?" And she said, "Because we are cheap." I said, "You're not ready." Because being cheap does not guarantee success. It doesn't in any way. You just see that every time you struggle, you do not make any headway. So being cheap does not do what? Guarantee success. So if you are cheap, does not mean you'll be successful. You see, there's a market for every businesses. Understanding your market and your target audience is the core value of every business. So you've started already. You put everything in place. You understand your market already. The next thing is, do you understand your target audience? Do you know what they want? What are you solving? What is the problem you're trying to solve? So a tailor is not trying to solve a clothes making problem. He's trying to solve a branding problem. So I told my wife, I said, what sets you apart from the rest is not because you are cheap. It shouldn't be because you are cheap. It should be because you have the ability to solve a branding problem. So how do you acquire customers? You acquire customers by preaching and talking about branding. So imagine if my staff drives in here in Mufti, right? The first thing you ask them is, who are you? Right? However, if they come in here with branded t-shirts, they have a shirt that shows the business name, the back shows my company name, right? They have a face card that shows my name, shows the business name. You ask them who they are, right? And the funny thing is, if you run a 10-minute advert, yeah, it takes 3 minutes to pick the idea, to pick the inquisity of any customer. So branding is what a fashion designer sells. What do you sell as someone who makes hair? What do you sell as someone who sells phone? What do you sell as someone who makes shoes? I used to have a shoe factory back in Nigeria before I moved to the UK. You know what I sold? I sold quality as the purpose of my business. You will wear my shoe for good 5 years without it peeling off. That means the material I use is the best. It will not be cheap. Do you understand? So when people come and say, "Oh, it's expensive. I priced that man is just there's 20K difference." I'll tell them, you wear this shoe for 5 years. If it spoils, bring it back. So I sell quality. Whereas a tailor would say, "Oh, I want to sell okay, see Sheyi Vodi. Sheyi Vodi does not sell clothes anymore. He sells brand. Everyone now wants to be associated with Sheyi Vodi's brand. Everyone now wants to, every senator in this country now, both senator, honorable, every big man, want to be seen in Sheyi Vodi's shop. They want to be seen wearing Sheyi Vodi. And that's where I want you to take your business to. Make everyone understand that your brand is unique. Make everyone understand who you are as a business. Maybe sells the best phone, right? There's some people that sells phone. So many people sell carton package phone. I know a man who bought a stolen phone in Nigeria, came to the UK, Bragwenga. He bought a stolen phone in Nigeria. I didn't know it was a stolen phone. They packaged it for him as a brand new phone. And they called those people out on Twitter. That means that that business has been blacklisted. I will never, as a person, buy from that business. Do we all get the whole idea of what I'm trying to preach? So now, sell a brand. Build a brand, not just a business. Make sure your business is not just one that you just want to grow for growing sake. Make sure it's one that is hinged on the quality of, number one, not just perception, because people perceive who you are, even without seeing you, right? Now, before perceiving you, make sure people know who you stand for, what you stand for, and who you are as a business. It will help you go a long way. So I was talking about subscription-based business model, right? Airbnb, Netflix, Apple Music are all a model that is based on subscription, right? If you want to listen to Apple Music today, you have to subscribe, right? If you want to listen to AudioMac, free, without ads, you have to do what? You have to subscribe. So the question is, how do you move your service-based business into a subscription-based business? Number one, you have a brand. You built a brand. You have a name already, right? You've understand your SOPs, your business model, and everything else, right? The next thing to do is to begin to push a subscription-based business. Now, instead of me charging someone to clean their whole house one time, yeah? You know what I do after each cleaning? I give them my card. And on the card, I have an hourly rate. Now says, we'll come into yours and clean for you 3 hours every week. Now imagine if I have 100 of that. That means I have 300 hours and I'm making £25 per hour from each of those businesses. That means I've been able to retain an acquired customer. So the ability to retain a customer for a very long time, right, is through subscription-based business model. So, and the good thing is that, you see, even for someone who takes pictures, you can have customers on retention, right? Can have customers on retention. How do you do it? Banks will call you to come and update your pictures almost every 5 years, right? Why not just open up a business model that come here, subscription model, you pay one naira every month, right? And then you can come in and take 6 pictures for free because you already subscribe to this business model. I'll give you another example, right? A barber. We all barb hairs, right? I know a guy who was able to through barbing. You know, people just walk into a barbing shop and they say, "Oh, I want to barb hair. How much do you charge?" Right? And I've seen the guy is in the UK. He was able to apply subscription-based model to his barbing. So if you go and barb hair for £25, right? After the first barbing, you're satisfied. There was no issue. It gets your shape right. You're happy. You're feeling fly. He'll call you and tell you that instead of coming every 2 weeks to come and barb your hair for £25, right? I will charge you £30 per month. Come 2 times a month. Do we all think is any way reasonable? Yeah? Is it reasonable? It's reasonable. You know why? Because this guy has a recurring profit from that same person. Now this person would stay with you. They won't go anywhere else. That means you've acquired the customer, you've retained the customer for future profit. So and that's why you see that Netflix will come and tell you that, oh, we are forecasting to make £10 billion next year, because they know that they have a system, a model that's subscription based, and people will subscribe, and they also have a funnel of how to acquire more businesses for them to grow as a business. So at the end of the day, your service business, make sure you grow to a stage where you are able to acquire a customer and then retain them. You can introduce a service or subscription model into any business. Any business. For example, now you open a pure water factory, and you sell pure water for a bag is how much now? How much? 6,500 now. A household of 3 people and 2 children will drink pure water of how many bags in a month? Up to 20. 20 times 6 will give you how much? 12,000 naira now. If you are able to move from just earning 12,000 naira every month, yeah, to earning a consistent 11,000 naira every month, that means that you've retained those customers every month. They will depend on your service for a very long time, because you've brought them over. And how do you do it? How do you do a service-based? How do you run a subscription-based business model business? You have to put structure for it in place. Online payments, direct debit, right? Netflix does not have to call you and say, "Oh, we'll charge you next month," right? They have a system in place that charges you automatically, right? You also have to have that business that's model in place, right? I've been able to place my data subscription automatically. And so all they have to do is go into my bank account and remove my money. So when I see it, I know what it's for. Do you understand? You can also, your you have that recurring source of revenue, right? When you acquire a customer, look for a way to retain them. And retaining them can only be done through the subscription-based business. So everything can be subscribed to. Everything can be subscribed to. People can subscribe to making clothes every 6 months. Do you understand? You just tell them, you don't have to worry about coming. We have your size already. Just put your details here, put your bank account here. Every 3 months, come and pick up a clothes. This is how much you pay. And you have 100 people that you're doing that for. That means you have a steady source of revenue. You don't have to stress about, how do I acquire a customer? Oh, how do I convert this lead? Are you getting my point? When you start a business, make sure you're able to grow such business into a service model business. And every businesses can be grown into a subscription model business. It just takes time. However, some businesses can be subscription-based model business from the scratch, right? Services, those who offer services, we have plumbers, electricians, solar installers, hairdressers, barbers, and everything, right? The economy of every world depend on a service-based businesses. The economy of the world, of the whole world, depends on it. There's nothing you want to do that you don't need a serviceman to do it for you. Your car breaks down, you want to call a mechanic, right? Now imagine if you're a mechanic and you're able to, repair cars everywhere. People know you already. Imagine you introducing a breakdown cover that no matter where your car breaks down in the whole of Lagos State, with just 10,000 naira per month, we'll come in, tow the car, and repair the car. Do you get me? So those customers, you retain them for life. They become your customer for life. You don't have to spend money on acquiring new ones again until you want to grow and expand. So by all means, please make sure that you grow your business into a service-based business. So now let's come into a product business. Product. Everyone here sells a product, right? Be it physical or abstract. Everyone sells a product. My product is cleaning, right? Even though I do not sell it hand to hand. Do you understand? Unlike a service, right? However, I sell a product. A photographer sells a product. And the product is what? Photography. Even though it doesn't, and there's no exchange of products hand to hand in that business sector. However, everyone sells a product. So the point is this: how do you make sure your product stands the test of time? How do you make sure that the product you sell does not just sell, right? How do you make sure that your product is the best of the best in town? The first thing you have to do is to make sure that your product is special. Special. So I will always use Bro Miebi as an example, right? Because I've patronized him, I've bought phones from him, and they have the best quality, right? So Bro Miebi sells a product, which is a phone, right? Now, I buy a phone from Bro Miebi, and the second day the phone goes off. Do you think I'll go to him again? I won't. Because he has not been able to satisfy my products purchase, right? So products means selling things. Those who sell chips sell a product. Those who sell iPhone, you sell earring, you're selling a product. But what makes you special is the quality of the product you offer. Make sure your product is of the highest quality. There's this lady who sell plantain chips in Surulere. When my in-laws came from the UK, they remembered her and say, oh, I want to go and buy that woman's plantain chips. Because when I eat plantain chips, I don't stew. It doesn't make me stew. The woman sells a product that people trust. Now she's been able to acquire those customers for life through the service she delivers through her product. So you see that everything appears to be intertwined. A product also offers a service. Your service is offering quality, offering the best of the best in the market where you service. So a service business, a product business, subscription model business, everything is intertwined. At the end of the day, you have to understand each of this sector, each of this model, and how to best put all these things into use. And then we also have online businesses. We have drop shipping, right? My elder brother does drop shipping. He buys shoes from China and he sells in the UK and he's making money. You've seen people who have a whole warehouse. You see, you can start an online business even from Agbara, from Ugeli. You can rent a small warehouse and go to Temu. You tell Temu that, see, I have a warehouse, right? Now I'm giving you ideas. I have a warehouse. I will dispatch your product to people from Agbara, and I will service the whole of the southeast. And Temu will tell you, show us your warehouse. How do you do it? So sellers will be able to store their products in your warehouse. All you have to do is just fulfillment. Once they order, you see the order on your computer screen. What do? You pick it up and you dispatch it. Now that's also an online business. Now the seller does not need to be where the product is. So my brother does not have to go to Amazon and sell in Amazon. All he has to do is stay on his computer, buy from China, deliver to Amazon. Amazon will see it. He would get an update. Oh, it's not in Amazon. He will list it on Amazon, and then Amazon will sell. So it does not in any way interact with the product. All it does is more like an intermediary. So example of an intermediary is also an agent. Agent don't build houses. Am I right? They don't build houses. But agents is there, and you will still pay for agency fee, right? Now agents don't have to basically do anything than just advertise the house, right? And at the end of every year, or once in a year, you pay agents. Now most agents don't even do anything. They don't maintain the house. Landlords will come and shout on tenant and say, "Oh, my house is bad." You have to understand the type of business you do, and you get it from the stage of the idea, your ideation stage, right? You understand. Oh, I want to start processing plastic. You know that one is a product-based business. And all you need any equipment. All you need is your laptop, right? Your laptop, internet, and your phone. Online business. You can start copywriting. You know, there's Outlier, there's Handshake. You know, all those platforms where people get job from, right? And you can, in a way, put system in place for your online business to do what? To thrive. So at your free time, please also check out all these business models. The second thing is agency. Sorry, the fourth model. So we have service business. You sell skills and expertise, right? Speaking about that. We have products. You sell physical goods. You sell TV. You sell iPhones, airtime, speakers. Those are products that you sell, right? Product engineers make a lot of money. Those who understand how a product work, the components of the product. You don't even need to understand how a product work before you start making money from it. I know a guy who all he does is product management. He will take his phone, design a product, and then sell the IP. So you have to understand how to make money in each and every sector you find yourself in. It doesn't sell products, it sells design. But however, it's still a product engineer. So you understand the whole aspect of engineering, components, design. He knows all those things. However, he doesn't go to China and say, oh, design this for me. But you know what he does? He takes his pen, draw out designs, and he sells to manufacturers. And people like me and you will now go to China and say, oh, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. However, he has made his money from those designs. So you have to, carry out your research, look into the market, look at the model that best suits your idea, and then begin to do them. So agency business, agency. I'll give you an example of an agency business. It's basically managing others. It's basically managing others. Management. If you're a good manager, you know that management is your strength, right? You should give agency business model a thought, and I'll explain to you how it works. So, I have 15 trucks, right? And I'm getting old. I've been transporting goods and services from Lagos to the north to the west. I've been doing all that. However, I know someone who understands operations better, right? A person opens up an office and calls himself an agency. And what does he do? He comes to me and say, sir, you don't have to kill yourself. Can you hand over all these trucks to us? We will manage the business for you while you make money. That's exactly how the agency business works. So you don't have to be there as well. It can also be an online business model as well, right? But all it does and all it deals with is management. You manage how goods move, how businesses thrive. You can also call that also consulting. You can consult for business as well. Consult, share these ideas, develop ideas. All those things are ways that you can make money and grow as a kingdompreneur. So we're talking about services, products, online, agency, manage other businesses, manage how they make profit, manage the advertisement, manage their expenses, manage their operations, right? You're not the one doing the business. All you have to do is manage. But while doing that, you also build your brand, you build yourself, and also build yourself. So let me give you the last example of an agency business. So, interact with a few cleaning companies who do not do cleaning themselves. They have a business name, but they don't go into people's homes to do cleaning services. You know what they do? They undo advertisements, bring in leads, and then convert the leads, right? When they convert the leads, they have cleaners in the whole of UK who are self-employed, who they give out the job to. So that's how agency business works. You acquire a customer, you convert the customer. Maybe you understand Facebook marketing, right? You're able to, you have an idea. Oh, I can run Facebook ads, YouTube ads. I'm a marketer. I know how to acquire customers. That might be your strength as well. Now, how do you put that to work? How do you make money from that? Instead of selling your marketing experience to businesses, why not just go into agency? Take clients, acquire clients, and then you now sell them. Sell them to businesses. For example, now someone goes online and say, I'm looking for a phone repair business. However, you're a marketer, right? You've opened up a phone repair business, right? What do? You understand how to repair a business, and you know how to acquire customers. And then you acquire the customer. You have phone businesses around you in every nooks and crannies of Nigeria. You just call them. Oh, I have this client. Oh, I'm selling them to you for 20K or 10K, because you acquire them. Do you understand? That means you're not in any way involved in the business. All you do is to manage the business from the starting point, and then you hand them over to those that will do it. And that's how agency works. So you have to understand which one fits perfectly into your idea and your structure as a business. So business models that we have also states. There's also a business model. Real estate is a business model. Those who sell houses, they are also an agency, and they also deal in real estate. They sell houses. They don't build the houses. But those who build the houses do not have the ability to reach customers. And what they do is to bring in marketers. They pay the marketers will charge you 10% on every sales. That's also a very profitable business, right? So when you understand all this model, it will help you to know how to grow the business and how to make money from the business. All right, so we've spoken about how to validate your idea. Have we? No, we've not. Okay. So how do you know your idea is a good one? How do you validate your idea? The first thing is talking to people. Talk to people. Engage people. Ask them questions. Ask them how to do it. Ask them. Interview 10 to 20 people. Talk to them, right? Ask them if the idea can meet their needs, right? Imagine if someone comes into a community and opens up a car repair business. Opens up a car repair business without finding out how many people own car in that community. He would run at a loss. So how do you validate your business idea? You engage with people. Do research. Ask questions. Ask 10 to 20 people if they will buy your products if you start making them, right? It's not just knowing if you solve a problem. It is making sure that people want the problem. People want the solution to the problem. So there's a problem, you have the idea. How do you validate the idea? Is by talking to people. The next thing is to build a minimum offer. Create the simplest version. It might be a landing page. It might be a WhatsApp number, a price sheet. Do you understand? Now make people see that, oh, you are serious. Oh, you have an offer, right? And you see, it is very, very important also that we all understand the power of social media. Social media now is a gold mine. It's been a gold mine for almost 10 years. But believers need to start making proper use of social media. Do not be scared or do not be ashamed to hawk your business online. Right? Hawk your business online. Hawk it. Use social media to your advantage. If you want, I've seen so many people who sell, especially those, you see those ladies who sell hair. Those people can hawk their business. They can hawk them. I know a guy in Lagos who sells phones. El Clasico. Is in Ikeja. This guy is very popular online. He will carry phones like this and be dancing. Buy a phone from you. He would go to the gym, run with his phone. He's not ashamed to sell his business. Carry your business on your head. Nobody will do it for you. So build a minimum offer. Build a business. And while doing so, build a minimum offer. So you also have to make sure that you have a pre-sale or pilot. Pre-selling or piloting. Pre-selling or piloting. So get your first customer to buy into the business. Get a first customer to do what? To buy into the business. It is very, very important. Get your first customer. See, it might even be your cousin, right? It might be your best friend. It might be your pastor. But make sure you get someone to buy into the business. And once they buy into the business, go back to them and genuinely ask them for a review. It is very, very important. Because what a review does for you is to show your weaknesses in your piloting, right? and also show your strength. Reviews are very, very important. Do you ask for reviews? You do. It's very, very important. So now, talk to people, build a minimum offer, pre-sale or pilot, get your first paying customer before you invest heavily in the business. It's important. Get your first paying customer before you invest in the business. Very, very important. You're a photographer, you know that before you go and buy that expensive camera, first of all, get a paying customer. Rent a camera. You're a mechanic. You want to start repairing cars. Before you before you go and buy those material, right? You can rent from someone. Make sure you get a first customer. That's where your starting profits will start from. See, I've seen people say that I can't start a business because there's no money for investment. I tell them it's a lie. It's a lie. With 1,000 naira, you can start a business. With 1,000 naira, money should never be an excuse to not starting a business. It's not money. If you want to sell phones and you do not have money to buy the first phone, what do? You link customers people who want to buy phones with people like maybe. Add your own percentage. Make money from it. It is that profit you make that you use to invest in your business and start your business. All right? So now, I spoke about reviews. Ask for reviews. And when you ask for reviews, measure the reviews. Measure their responses. Is it good? Is it negative? Is it encouraging? How can I, be better in the business? So ask for review, measure the review, and at the same time, you have to iterate and decide. So iteration means alteration. Altering how your business works. So iteration, for example, now, I go to a tailor. I say, sew me a kaftan. And sews a kaftan. And the hand is very tight, right? And I go back to him and say, bro, this thing is very tight, so you have to do something about it. You think he will tell me to bring it back here? Bring it back and then we'll take it out, right? And that's him iterating that cloth. So never be too ashamed to iterate your business. See, I have done so many businesses and I'm not afraid to fail. When I got to the UK, the first business I did was to start selling cars. And I lost £7,000. I remember calling Brian Boji and saying, I've lost money, but we go again. And that's me. When you fail, failure is an example that you're doing something right. Failure is an indication of you doing something right. So do not be afraid to fail. Failure is part of the journey. I've seen so many Christians especially Christians, they don't want to fail. They'll say, no, I can't fail. The song, popular song, I know go fail. It is a lie. You will fail. I'm telling you, you will see. Embrace failure. Embrace failure. It's as simple as that. Embrace failure. Make failure your best friend so that when you fail, you learn quickly. And you see, starting early. Because I'm talking to you, to youth here. Starting early means that you have the ability to fail multiple times early. It is true. It is true that you learn how to fail. You see, my baby does not talk yet. But she tries and mutter words. Do you understand? So while watching those words, you see spit coming out of her mouth. And her mom and people will say she's trying to talk. Yes, she's trying to talk, but before she says her first dada or mama, she has failed multiple times. She has tried to talk. Try. Do not be afraid to fail. Before you saw Elon Musk has failed several times. Just last night I was going through Twitter and I saw someone wrote that he has never seen someone like Elon Musk before. He says, SpaceX. SpaceX, the space travel company. He says, before they made their first flight to the space, he said every time they try to fly and they fail, the business process, business cycle. So do not be afraid to fail. You see, so let's move ahead. Let's talk about perfection, right? I've seen so many believers love perfection. Hey, we love perfection. You have an idea in your head, right? And you want everything to be perfect before you start. Now imagine a content creator, right? Who says, I want to start filming vlogs. I want to start filming my ideas. And you are waiting for the best phone. You want the best quality. Start small and start now. Start small, start now, and do what? And grow. Don't see. It is not. You will not get perfection in a day. You see that's your phone, yeah? Bought a land. She has built her own kitchen. See, aside from prayer and declaration, yeah, nature itself, yeah, appreciates consistency. Nature does what? Appreciate consistency. If you're consistent with what you do, you're good. You're the best in your industry. You understand your processes, your procedure. You have a system in place. Oh, but how consistent are you? People will start today, and then it's raining. They will say, "Oh, that rain is too much. Oh, I'm not going out today. I better make them close shop at their house." Consistency, because you do not know when. And says, "Oh, God has made you a millionaire," and you sit down on the prophecy, nothing will happen. Which I'm still blaming myself for today. My wife asked me, you see, there's something about idea. There's something it does for me. It makes me excited. It makes me very happy. I think about it, the vision, I imagine it, I dream about it, write it down, and I begin to pursue it. But not anymore. When I think about an idea, I slow down, validate the idea, speak to people. See, I've opened a website. I've done everything. I have a van. I was going to start out. I want to do it. But at the end of the day, I was not going to solve a problem. I learned how to go and repair appliances, repair oven, repair cookers, do all those things. But people would rather buy a new Going cheap does not mean you make money, right? So I tell people, I say, you see, there's something we call high medium ticket, right? High medium ticket means that I acquire a customer for £10,000, right? And I sell just one in a month. Do you understand? I do the job well. Customer, client is happy. However, you said, £10,000 is too much. Oh, I'll bring it down. I'll sell to 10 people, right? And then you begin to sell on £1,000 to 10 people. What do you think makes the most money? Huh? The £10,000 makes the most money because I'm spending lower on expenses. I have a lower overhead cost. Do you understand? So selling cheap, bring down your price does not make you successful. Q 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 successful. Everything down. At the end of the month, add everything all together so you will know how much how much do you make on your tax? Sorry, how much do you pay for your tax? Do you pay it per month or yearly? Right? You have to be able to divide it into 365 days, right? And then look at the numbers of days you work, right? And then look at the number of products you sell. For me now, if I want to make £5,000 every month, right? I know that I have to work 40 hours a week. Do you understand? That which is 9 to 5. 7 days, 6 days a week, including Saturdays. If I have to make £4,000 or 5K every month. Now, and I have to charge £35 per hour for me to make that £4,000 every month. Now, that 4K happens to be my expenses before tax, EBITDA. They call it EBITDA, EBITDA, expenses before tax. So now, I know that, okay, this is how much I need to make, right, before I can break through as a business. So we call it expenses before tax, which is your total revenue. Now, once you now remove all your revenue, everything you do, if you make £100,000 today, yeah, the normal thumbs up rule is that 30% of that £100,000 should be your profit. So if you make 25% profit or 20% profit, that means that you are eating into your profit. You will not grow as a business. So the rule is that you must make 30% profit to be a successful business and to also stay in business. So you have to understand your numbers. Divide your numbers. Cut them into hours, right? Cut them into days. Cut them into products. For maybe now, if you want to break through, you can say, oh, I have to sell 100 phones every month. If I want this business to grow and to expand. For someone who takes pictures, say, oh, I have to take 10 pictures every week if I want to break through as a business. Do you understand? That's how you're able to track your business. You see, tracking your business means that you're able to know how much you make as a profit, how much you're able to pour back into the business, and how much you're able to pay yourself, right? That's why I would always advise you, calculate your profit per hour. Do you understand? You sell a phone for £2,000, try. It's difficult. It's difficult. But if you want to make progress, if you want to make profit in business, calculate your profit per hour. Calculate it per hour. How many hours you work in a day? How many hours? Yeah? In a day? How many hours you work for in a day? You work 18 hours in a day. Okay. How many hours you work in a day? 42 hours. So it's quite difficult to track as a businessman, right? You work on questionable hours as entrepreneurs. However, once you begin to put those structures in place, you begin to understand how many hours you need to work. Normally, you shouldn't work more than 6 hours or 8 hours in a day. I mean, normally. However,